Okay. We're good to go,
We are good to go.
and it is 4:02.
It is 4:02.
So we'll call the meeting to order at 4:02. And then I ask you, is there anybody in the public that's joined us?
No.
Again, my wife hasn't called in. So
Wait, hold on. I do have people. Hold on. Attendees. I have David Funkelstead and Pinion. None.
so Dave made it.
I'm gonna allow Dave to talk. Hi, David.
That would be.
Oh,
Hi
he's
there,
on
can
mute.
you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
How are you?
Awesome. All right, apologies, I can't make it. Really bummed out. I have a work offsite and just couldn't make it, and really hate to miss when we do it at stations like 57.
Yeah.
No
Well,
problem.
I got your communication and he asked me, he said, hey, be prepared to do this. And so we're in lockstep on that. So we
Great.
called the meeting to order. David, I don't know if you heard that.
So just following Brown Act, and if you recall, we did this a few meetings ago. Our chair has to participate as just a member of the public today. Because we would
Yes.
have had the Brown Act notice his offsite location and allow members of the public to actually attend at his location. And I don't think we did that, did we?
We did.
No.
No,
So-
we did not.
Yeah, so you're more than welcome to comment during public comment period, but can't vote. And our vice chair will run the meeting today, but thank you for being with us.
Thank
All right,
you.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute you, David.
Okay,
All right. Okay.
Okay, so that takes us to approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at them? And are there any changes to the minutes? You look at them?
Yeah.
You good? You have
I move they be accepted as presented.
so moved. Okay, so it's reviewed and accepted, and so we can move on from that. And that takes us to the Fire Foundation.
Fire Foundation will be meeting this Friday. Still work in progress, attempting to get information from the two designees who have been appointed to source what the wants, needs, desires of the fire department are in order for the foundation to set the groundwork to begin fundraising. So hopefully that'll get underway in 2026. As of yet, there has been no wish list provided still.
I'm sure it's coming.
I hope so.
Is there something that we could do to help you, or is
No,
the chief
there's
could do?
been two official designees appointed. Jordan Sachs, who is the medic for the fire department and also on the fire foundation. And Grant Sayset, who's a firefighter. Those two are to be working together
He can
to determine the needs that they wish to ask the foundation for.
So he can go into public comment if we don't have any agenda item.
Okay.
Okay, so those, you have ongoing communication with those folks and they're gonna
Yep.
get something back to you.
Hopefully in 2026.
Cool. Did we, along with the Fire Foundation, we kind of briefly talked about, and I don't know if this is the appropriate time to bring this up, but it was for lighting of the fire stations. So
Oh, Christmas lighting.
Christmas light or holiday lighting, right?
So I can update you on that. That's part of my subcommittee. So Chief Roman said, yes, lights are okay.
Oh,
We're gonna get written, he's gonna help. We're gonna have a policy for the firehouses on when they can put them up, the period when they need to take it down.
oh, really?
So yes, there are gonna be some decorations. It'll be small scale. Captain Berkey said that some people are really into it, so they will be they're submitting me a list of wants and needs for like holiday lights, etc., which we'll come up with them find something, figure it all out, so. My friend Dory.
Well, we ended up making a meeting in session. Wow.
A couple of public members, my goodness. Distinguished.
Well, no,
Distinguished
I
public
know
members.
about that, but,
That's my
you
friend.
know, geez, you guys are getting stressed.
I'm perfectly fine.
I brought somebody's dinner date.
Yeah.
with
I
me.
tried to get it together.
Dory Chu,
Hi.
retired from Berkeley Fire,
Newly retired.
was an investigator and my pal from many of the classes.
So
So-
anyways, they're gonna tell me what they need light wise, we have some budget. And we'll get them,
Okay,
like, but it's gonna be low. You know, low. Danielle and I had a brief meeting on that today and it's gonna be pretty low key.
so, and we kicked it around like, hey, asking local businesses
Yeah,
to,
and so. What happens is if I ask local businesses, a lot of them wanna write it off. And contributions. But that would have to go through the fire foundation because they're 501c3.
that's why I was bringing it up during the
So
fire foundation.
we decided, no, we're not gonna go that route because it would be too much work to do.
Okay,
So, so we're gonna do it on a smaller scale. And,
okay,
and we have a budget from our,
oh, you do?
yeah, from
Okay.
our small fundraisers that we did, so.
Alright.
Not using city money.
All right, because I came up with this list of like the big company, the biggest companies in.
Yeah,
Central
we
Valley.
might, let's save that for
Save
next
that
year.
for something else.
Save
right?
that for next year, because we're gonna trial balloon this and see how it goes.
Cool, okay. Well, I think it's a good idea. Everybody loves to drive by a fire station
Yeah.
when it's lit at
Yeah.
the holidays.
But I think we talked a little bit about it being a contest, is that,
We're not gonna do it because we don't have the big budget for that.
so we're not doing a contest?
No. No. We're gonna do it as like, this is the first year,
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say, keep it simple.
keep it
first year.
simple and see how it goes.
Simple Santa.
Uh-huh. But we wanted a policy of like, what you can and cannot display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
What words can be used.
Sure.
Exactly, so that's where it's at.
Hold on. That's cool. That didn't die. I thought it was, that might have gotten sidetracked or.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do it, it's just on a small scale.
Cool. Any other people that are close to joining the fire foundation? Or
Not to my knowledge,
we need to still drum up
always looking for volunteers.
volunteers?
No, he's
Yeah.
been asked and politely.
She's already asked and twisted my arm, but he's really trying to be retired. Still on the mirror.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it?
That's it.
So Vice Chair, what you do now is you ask if there's any public input on this particular agenda item, and I know that Sheriff Uncle Scrud has his hand up, so he has something he wants to say, but after each agenda item, you ask if there's any public input.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks, Chief. So any public input on Fire Foundation comments?
Well, yes, there is. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to give a quick update on the Fire Foundation website. So as you know, it's a project I've been working on with Carrie and Jack and others, and we're really close. We're just trying to figure out the most important part of it, which is the PayPal donation functionality. So it's proving to be a lot more tricky than we ever envisioned, but we've pretty much got everything else set up. It looks fantastic. Thomas, thanks for the photos that you gave me on the disk or on the pen drive. They looked great. And it's something that we're going to update over time as well, but I think we've got a really fantastic new site to turn on. It's hopefully before the end of the year, but the PayPal functionality is something that's just taking a lot more time than anticipated.
Okay. So. Okay, so I was just concerned about that. So people are gonna be donating through that portal? And.
Yeah.
And so if somebody's credit card gets hacked while they do that, is that insured?
I'm not sure about that, but it would be the same functionality that has existed on the previous foundation website. It's basically this just a redo of the look and feel of the Fire Foundation website to just make it more engaging and talk about the projects that the foundation has funded, like the drone and the fireboat and other things. So it really won't change anything. We're just transferring that PayPal functionality that has existed for years on the foundation site to the new site.
Yeah, no big deal. I just wanted, just curious. Any comment on that? No? We're good to move on? So that takes us to you, to the 150th.
Yeah, so I
anniversary
spoke on
subcommittee.
the
Fire
holiday
stuff.
lights.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's we're doing, like I said, something, it'll be a little small scale. And I'll get a list of. They're coming up with a list of wants and needs, so that's where it's at.
Cool, great.
Yeah, and just ask if there's any public comment,
And-
just as a matter of formality.
Right, yeah, any public comment on that subcommittee report? No?
Sounds great.
Will this be the 151st anniversary,
152nd.
152nd?
150. No, Mike, I'm not looking at you.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I think off the top of my head.
It's a 52nd or 51st? No, we'll just pretend it's 150.
Yeah, it's the 150th. What's the number? Are we at 151 or 152?
1874, so that's the date you're working from,
Yeah, okay.
51.
51. 150.
January 1, 1874.
74, okay. So we're going into 2026. So we want to. 152. Anyways,
All
I
right,
did
so,
have one more thing from the public. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, tell me if this is, I think it addressed the agenda item, but one of the things that we've done each year for the firehouses is each one of us has provided a card, credit card, a gift card, so they can stock up the kitchen. So we might, I think it kind of falls in line with the firehouses and the holiday decorations. Is that something that we want to continue this year? And then we should probably divvy up who's going to do which firehouse.
yeah, we did that last year, it was successful. I brought your bike. So we wanna do that?
I'm game. Yeah, I have to say, I'm a little uncomfortable with it. I mean, I was last year too, but I mean, I did it, but. I mean, it's a nice gesture, but
Okay.
it's a-
So
there's-
I couldn't hear what you said.
I was a little uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
And maybe just, being a chief officer, but. It's just, there was something about it that, I mean, it wasn't so much the material, it's the thought. So. I'm wondering if there's something other that's not just blatant. Money going out.
Like ordering a meal in?
I don't know. I just know it, I just felt very, very strange about it. Yeah, and maybe it's just me, maybe. It's whatever the group decides.
Yeah, just did one quick thought, in my case, when I got a cash card, it was from Whole Foods. Well, ostensibly, they would take it to said store and go from there, so that it wasn't like, here's X amount of dollars and, go buy a dozen Sunday caramels. It seems to that the whole flavor of everything was serve the station and then everybody in it at the time, and the best thing is food. So it was how to get there without making the choice for them. Going back to Larry and Steve and David on by with me, you guys went out and did shopping, and showed us with boxes. The translation from those days to where we are now was to make it as easy to do and as uniform as possible. And so that's where the card came from.
And how it evolved was also that it was for us to buy, in theory, meals for the crews who are working on Christmas Eve and at Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the city, the officers took care of that. Christmas Eve was the officers paid for the meal. Of course, we had 11 people in my firehouse. So when we brought this up last year, years gone by, it was about just giving the donations for this week, for the crews that were working.
Right, because it wasn't really fair to require those officers to have to pay.
Right, it was just a gesture, but at the same time, it was our way of saying, thanks. So that's kind of work. I'm only saying this because that's what the history.
Yeah, no,
Statistically,
I don't have that history, I don't
Yeah.
understand it, right,
Yeah.
so.
I have a comment. I'm kind of in Brian's camp. I think it fell flat. I don't think it made any impact at all.
I think they appreciated
At the moment,
They appreciate.
at the moment, yeah. I think, a suggestion I have is there's 3 shifts on every firehouse. That, other than 51, they're not massively a lot of people. I'm just thought provoking. What if instead of buying a gift certificate over 3 different shifts, and it doesn't have to be obviously back-to-back days, but what if you brought dinner to the firehouse and sat down and ate with the crew? That way you're getting to know the players, you're interacting with them. I've done it more than once. I think it's a wonderful thing to do. The firefighters seem to love it, and it's gonna intertwine us more into their daily life so that they have a better knowledge of who we are and what we do. Because a lot of the firefighters have never had any interaction really with the fire commissioner at all. That's just my idea.
For me, I think that's great.
You wouldn't have to do it on Christmas Day. You wouldn't
Listen,
have to-
let me call a timeout here.
Sure.
Because I just want to make sure we're staying on our agenda, which you have to remember, this is a Brown Act meeting. It's being recorded. Now, we don't have a lot of audience members, excluding our 2 very important members here and 1 or 2 that are joining us online, but this meeting is then recorded and people can go look at it anytime they want. So we just want to make sure that we're maintaining our decorum. Now, we're currently under agenda item 4, which is 150th anniversary subcommittee. Does this subject fall within that
Well,
category?
we extended it off from the
Okay,
decoration of the firehouses,
so
for the
what
holiday.
I would recommend is, there's been a couple of different suggestions, and in order to just kind of expedite the process, is somebody call a motion. Make a motion on what you feel you might want to do under this topic, and then call for a vote. Because now you've got 2 different ideas in play, so somebody should make a motion.
I make a motion to table it until next month.
A second.
So it is,
Call the vote.
oh,
All in favor? Aye.
aye.
All against?
We need ayes,
Aye.
Hi.
so is it unanimous?
Unanimous.
Okay. And then last item is there any public comment on the topic?
That's how it started.
I know.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure.
Before we move on, is there any public comment on this topic?
That would be.
Or it's all David's fault.
No comment.
Okay, cool. So there are some media articles that came out. One of them, is, did this come from you, Dave? Both of them came from you?
That came from me. Basically, those articles talked about zombie fires. When is a wildland fire fully extinguished? Because
Yeah.
these articles talk about how underneath below ground roots are still transferring heat fires rekindled.
Yep.
So, the reason why I submitted this is just for people to read and to get an idea of what this is, and you might hear the term zombie fire, because that's the buzzword that they use with this investigation and these fires in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
So it's
Probably the Oakland Bears fan.
mhm. But it's a word that we didn't have,
No, I've never heard people.
yeah, back when we were in the fire service. Or now it's being out in the mainstream.
Right. You know, what's interesting is that in the forest. There, I don't know who's recommending it, but I see it on Facebook. Get rid of stumps. I don't know if you've seen that, where they drill holes in the stump
Mhm.
and they pour mixture of gas and diesel fuel in it and light it. And when I saw that, I thought, who in the hell is doing that? Because that's, you know,
There's gonna be fire, where do you get?
yeah. I mean, nobody's telling them, hey, you know, the fire's gonna burn down that stump and it's gonna go into the root system
Mhm.
and pop up somewhere else.
Mhm.
So I don't know if CAL FIRE is on top of that or US Forest Service or what. It's a bad thing to be telling people.
So anyways, it was just for anybody's information, because we'll probably be hearing this phrase from here on out.
Yeah. I've seen, the rhetoric of surrounding wildfire, you know, just drop off the cliff, because we had a pretty good year.
Mm.
For cat losses right around the world, except for cyclones, right, in the southeast,
Mhm.
but, yeah. Any public comment or any comment on the, media before we move on?
No comment, thanks.
Great. Fire department upcoming city council items.
So this is a new agenda item that's coming before you for the first time. Nothing on it this evening other than its introduction. And that is to inform you that in the future, if we have an important city council item that's going to be posted on their agenda, that we're going to review it with you first to obtain your input and hopefully your support, and then possibly at the meeting, your participation. So this is just one way that we want to kind of elevate your presence and your participation in your role as commissioners. We have other ideas as well. I've actually prepared a report and submitted it to the fire chief for his review. Ways that we can further involve you in the organization. But this is kind of like the first step. So again, it's any important agenda item that might be upcoming, we'll bring before you in advance, review it with you, get your input, possibly modify our staff report based on your input. Get your support. That's going to be kind of the mission of it. And then if it's an important item and we'd like your presence at the meeting, we'll let you know. Okay,
So I have a question on that.
sure.
So, for example, like this November 12th CERT winter storm preparedness meeting, would that be something?
That's not a council meeting. That is something you can attend if you'd like,
Okay,
as a CERT member
okay,
or as a supporter of CERT. What I try and do as well is at the end of the chief's report is include anything that you might be interested in. And I will include city council meetings as well if there's something on the agenda that we feel you need to be involved with. But again, we'll also make that part of this agenda item and review it with you in detail.
okay. This is great.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really kind of a great way to further your involvement in the organization. Then you ask for public input on that.
Right, yeah. Is there any public input on that? David?
No, be very useful.
Yeah, don't you
I
think?
should,
so?
how is the CERT program? Living now and Brian and I were the pioneers.
Coming back.
Is it active in Santa Fe?
Yes, we have a new staff member, Tricia Howard, who is working under Quinn Gardner in the Emergency Management Division. And one of her primary duties is to basically improve, bolster, expand CERT. And she's working on that as we speak.
Can I ask a question about CERT? Is it a countywide program or is Santa Fe doing their own CERT?
Santa Fe is doing their own CERT. It follows countywide protocols.
Right.
And practices.
Right,
And coordination.
right. But I know there was time, I mean, that's where we started it.
Right.
But then there was a time when I think fire department said, no, thanks. But they'd refer people to other fire departments that were doing the CERT training. So we're back to doing
Yes.
it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And we'll have Tricia attend a future meeting and give you a presentation and an update. Because I think she's already made a lot of meaningful progress in just the last month or two.
Any public comment or any questions on that? Before we move on? No?
No, thanks.
Takes us to the commissioners' reports. So David's a member of the public.
So he can comment at the end.
Dan?
No, nothing directly. That's not on the agenda. On the agenda.
Donna?
Yes, I went to the 150th anniversary celebration at the PSC. And I got a really nice education about the Explorer program from one of the explorers who led a tour for me of the firehouse. And I realized I know so little about the program that I contacted Captain William Berkey and asked him if he would be willing to come to the commission and bring an explorer and share with the commissioners what the program is all about, that we all are more knowledgeable. And I thought it would be really wonderful if we also invited the foundation to come when we do that meeting in 2026, so that everyone is a better advocate for the fire department's Explorer program. Captain Berkey said he'd be more than happy to do that, so I wanted to put that on the table for 2026. Another thing that I wanted to review or refresh for 2026 is that we did the one-on-one contact with all the city council members. Each of us had a meeting on our own. And we talked about it earlier this year, and I feel that we should do it again and rotate who it is that we're speaking with. I realize that one of the seats is up for election this month, so we probably shouldn't delegate who we're gonna meet with until January of the new year, but I think that was a really good outreach that the commission did, and should continue to do it in 2026. That's it.
I do have a meeting scheduled with my
You have to
appointee.
share, you don't get to keep the same person next year.
I know. It's this year,
Oh,
so I meet with her twice.
good, that's good.
So you're saying, let's get a list of the individuals that we wanna talk for our next meeting that we wanna
Well, yeah.
interact with. Maybe
Sure.
if it would change, maybe we could expand it or.
No, I'm just saying we should rotate so that we don't meet with the same commissioner again,
Yeah.
so that we get more knowledgeable about our city council members. And they get more knowledgeable about the fire department.
Right, we keep the same list, is what you're saying, just rotate it around.
Correct. But you're gonna have one new player because Mary Beth Bushy is stepping down. We don't know who her replacement is yet.
Well, Ken, you met with the mayors and I met with the city manager, so you can meet with the city manager and I can meet with the.
At the same place.
Hey, just say,
Because that, you were extremely successful, we all, every citizen of the town can see that. Okay, those are good, those are really good. Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah,
It's already mentioned in the chief's report, but
Oh, yeah.
Donna was talking about the open house. We did it. The truck did it, truck and EMS under the direction of Chief Hatfield did a auto extrication. EMS component. Which was pretty good. We were able to get a car cut. So. It was good visuals. But, so anyways, yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Brian?
I don't have anything other than, you know, I got something from the city clerk's office about commission party. That's coming up.
Yeah.
For the commissioners.
Right.
I don't know if we talk about that here or what, but. Yeah, I don't have much for anything.
Well, Kurt. Bureaus, commissions.
Yeah,
Oh, my
I mean, last year, it actually went last year, it was pretty nice.
Yeah, no.
It was fun. That was a fun part.
It was.
Very nice.
Now that I'm older than all city manager and city council, it's even better.
Careful.
It comes to me, I've just been traveling, I don't have anything to share at this meeting, so apologize for that. Any public comment, David? Before we
I
move
think
on?
this is within Brown Act requirements, but maybe we can consider for the next meeting, just an agenda item. I was thinking it might be nice to have a proclamation from the Fire Commission recognizing the Fire Foundation and just everything that it's done more recently with just the resources that are making a difference, right? The drone and the boat being used in some recent fires and just making a real difference. So thanking the community for supporting the Fire Foundation, thanking the foundation itself. Again, kind of recognizing the importance of being a class one, having the class one designation and how things like this help. So maybe we can add that to the agenda for the next meeting, and I can draft up some suggested language and we can think about that.
Okay. Cool. Noted. Before we do move on, I did do something and just sit around. And I'll go in. We had that fire down by the fire station, that Victorian house. And I was walking by one day and I saw no progress on any of the remediation of the damage that was done to the property. And so I walked over to the guy, I thought, you know, and I said, hey, can I help you? And so I've been helping him with his plane. Just because he needs to get moving on that, so. This is just, it has nothing to do with anything, it's just, you know, I think he was stuck in the mud, he didn't know which way to go, and that's a beautiful property, and you just can't let it sit there and develop mold, so. That's one thing that I did. So, any comment before we move on from the commissioners' reports?
I have a question. Well, it's not a commissioner report question, so. It's a question for the chief. You reference that senior management is looking at the commission in terms of ways to engage us and what have you. And we did receive during the space between meetings, a letter, which was included with all of the items. Was that letter also any impetus to the thoughts going on within management?
It was a coincidence, but actually the effort started well before that letter came along, but was
Yeah.
appreciated.
Yeah.
And made some very good points, and
Yeah.
you know, we like to get comments like that from the public, so.
After I read it, I then, and I didn't really disagree with what I read. But I started thinking about what are those things that the public might be seeing, but they don't see us involved in. And the two that came up were Fire Station Marine. And, hang on.
Wildfire, Firewise?
Firemen. Two, not exactly totally separate, but very separate operations. That are all part of the family of services available to the public and organizations that deal with the public. Should we invite representatives periodically to talk about, from those organizations, to talk to us, to tell us what they're doing, and or if we have information for them back the other direction? Is that part of the flavor of what I'm hearing?
It's something to consider. We've talked about and we've had guest presentations in the past, and representatives from both of those agencies can certainly be contacted to see if they'd be willing to make a brief presentation in the future.
2026.
We do have Quinn Gardner, who manages our Defensible Space Division, and she's well attached to both of those agencies. She could also probably give a very informative overview as well, so.
All right, thank you.
Anything, any public comment or any other comment before we move on to the chief's report?
I think that we should make a motion to invite Quinn Gardner to present to the commission in 2026.
I'll make the motion to have Quinn come and report to us or share with us what they're doing.
I will second it with the idea that that should be just a standing invitation every year.
Great.
Seconded with that.
Yes. With that addendum.
Great. So that brings us to the chief's report.
Need to call for a vote.
But all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Okay.
All opposed? No, any opposed? No. So that passes. Brings us to the chief's report.
Okay, the chief's report, first item is the PSC open house recap on October 11th. It's been discussed. I don't really need to add anything other than it was just a tremendous success. Thank you for everybody who participated and made it so worthwhile. It was great having both fire and the PD side open. That was the first time since we've moved into the building. I think people really appreciated that. So I think what we'll be looking for is in future years, having at least one open house and maybe rotating it around the various stations. But that can be discussed at a future meeting as well. Get your recommendation on it. National First Responders Day is an annual recognition. It's held on October 28th. They honor firefighters, law enforcement officers, EMS, public works first responders, and other first responders as well. There's a photo in the report. The council does a resolution. It was very nice, and we very much appreciate it. On October 25th, this is a notable event. We had a residential structure fire, and the home was protected with a residential fire sprinkler system. The fire was in the garage. It was basically bags of debris that caught fire due to a errant discarded cigarette. The bags caught on fire. The fire sprinkler system extinguished it before firefighters arrived. The great thing was the fire was in the garage, so there was basically no damage to the structure. Just basically clean it out. But it's great to see a fire sprinkler system do its job and do it so well. So the residents were very appreciative. No damage to the home. Firefighters did some quick smoke removal, helped with debris cleanup, and people moved back in.
Chief, may I ask a question
Mhm.
in regards to that? Fire sprinkler systems are supposed to be inspected on a regular basis in homes, correct?
No,
Oh, okay,
not in single family dwelling environments.
no,
No.
Just commercial.
commercial and multifamily apartment buildings, things like that.
So residents that have that system in their home.
Mhm.
Is it a service that should be done?
If people ever call us, we recommend that they have a fire sprinkler contractor inspect it. But unless there's a problem with it, damage, something like that, yeah, it's not required by code.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but commercial is every year,
Mhm.
and who does those inspections?
A qualified fire sprinkler contractor,
Okay, and how is it documented that the inspection's been done?
they complete a report and a
Okay,
copy of which is supposed to be submitted to the fire department.
okay,
It's also submitted to ISO. So when the insurance rep pulls up a location, they'll pull the main grading test for this building.
okay. Thank you.
And I think all new construction now in California has to.
I know, that's why I was asking.
The chief, single family homes is a requirement now for remodels?
If you remodel and or expand more than 50% of the existing floor area in any 2-year period, it triggers a fire sprinkler requirement. That's a local ordinance.
An independent water source? Or
No, not for a single family dwelling. On page 2 of the report, there's a great picture
Yeah,
that Thomas Wong took.
yeah.
I mean, this is Life magazine quality,
You know,
if you ask me. Of the drone, Big Mac drone flying over our UTV with Defensible Space Manager Kate Anderson. They were up on the fire roads doing some surveying recently, and Thomas grabbed that picture, which I just thought was fantastic.
So he was flying the drone and able to take a picture at the same time, that boy.
He's talented. The next item is just something of interest. Firefighters were conducting an operational exercise. We have a new training officer, Captain Jimmy Alvarez, and he's off to a very fast start. And what he's done is he's actually been arranging for firefighters to do actual fire operational drills at certain buildings around the city. He started with the Embassy Suites Hotel just up the street here. And while they were conducting that drill, they found a very concerning and what appeared to be a code violation to the dry standpipe system. And so he brought that to our attention. We did some investigation. We determined that they definitely need to make some modifications to the standpipe system. So we've been engaged with Embassy Suites. They've been very cooperative and they're making the necessary changes, but it was just a kind of a great show all around where Captain Alvarez is starting these drills. He gets firefighters in there, actually working with the built-in fire protection systems. And they found what appeared to be something that needed to be corrected. And so they immediately brought that back to me. We went out there and did an investigation, met with staff, gave them recommendations that they're following through with. So it's just great. So they'll be doing other buildings in the city, and who knows, maybe they'll find things that we need to correct. But oftentimes you don't find these things unless you're doing an activity like that. You know, just maybe a general walkthrough, you would miss it. But because they were actually working with the fire protection equipment, they discovered what they felt was a defect in the design.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
What's the delay on something like on a dry standpipe?
the delay.
Like, so how long it because of this, how long is this gonna slow down? Yeah, what's the delay for the firefighters to utilize this? Because you're saying it's not a wet pipe, right?
correct.
So what's the delta?
Yeah, there's 5 standpipes in that building, 4 of which are dry standpipe systems. Fortunately, the entire building is sprinklered, so any fire in the building should be controlled by the fire sprinkler system. However, a dry standpipe system just requires the engineer to connect to a water source, the hydrant, connect to the standpipe system, charge the standpipe system for firefighters then to utilize the stairwell with supply hose, connect to the outlet on the appropriate floor, advance down the hallway, connect in attack lines from there, and fight the fire. So as long as you're programmed to do that, there's very little delay. If this is what's great about this training, is it's instilling this into the firefighters. Okay, these are the steps you need to take if there's a fire in this building. So all the firefighters will get this training. They'll become much more familiar with this building. This is a very challenging building because it's a mid-rise hotel that has this large internal atrium, inside atrium. So you can really have a smoke generation problem or a fire spread problem in there. So it's considered a target hazard building. So the Captain Alvarez started with this building, was very fortunate for all involved.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the standpipes aren't connected, so you have to figure out, if you're the driver, you have to figure out which is the correct standpipe.
Right.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
how do you do that?
And that's the case here.
You just have
So-
to know the building.
Okay.
So
I know
you
where your
guys-
crew is.
Are you guys saying, I don't want to belabor this, but are you saying like if the fire load is greater than that fire sprinkler system is being able to knock down, you would use this? Or are you using it like, what if the fire sprinkler system doesn't work?
No, you're potentially gonna use it regardless, because even the fire sprinkler system has extinguished the fire, you're probably still gonna wanna stretch a hand line to the apartment or the hotel room of origin, so you're still gonna use it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're gonna use it regardless.
And you can, you have more control of the correct pressure.
I
So if
see.
you have a wet sandpipe, you could have sprinklers popping all along down the line,
Yeah,
and the capacity, you might be stretching the capacity. of that.
yeah,
So you can augment the wet, or else you can also just charge the dry.
okay,
Basically, you just try to put more water.
yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Cool.
Emergency Manager Quinn Gardner wanted me to inform the group that the county EOC, Emergency Operations Center, was activated in response to food insecurity matters associated with the government shutdown. And Quinn's team is assisting with this effort to help ease the strain on those most impacted by the shutdown. If you remember, several months ago, we talked about San Jose Del Taqueria on 4th Street, had the fire. We talked about the fact that, I can't remember what the percentage is, but more times than not, when a restaurant suffers a serious fire, it does not reopen. And that looked to be the case with this restaurant. It just went months without any activity, but I'm pleased to report now they pulled permits to repair the fire damage and get that business back into operation. So that's good to see. I was afraid that it was just going to be a fire damaged vacant building for months or years to come. There's a really cool new San Rafael Major Projects portal on the San Rafael City website under the Community Development Department pages, under the Planning Division page. It's a portal that shows you all of the major projects that are slated to possibly be built. They're in various planning or building department phases. Major projects around the city that are proposed or actively in a permit process, a planning review or a permit process. So I've given you the link, and it is really cool because it shows you a map of all the locations as icons. And then you can click on it and it will open up with information and show you the architectural renderings. And as you'll see, there are several major projects, mid-rise and even a high-rise, that is proposed for the San Rafael area in the next few years. So whether or not they all come to fruition, that's subject to financing, interest rates for construction, cost of materials, things like that. But these buildings, they're in a planning or building department phase. It's a very interesting website. You should just check on it initially, and then from time to time, go back and look at it because it changes. They update it with new projects or if other projects drop off. So very interesting. We talked about the city council future agenda items, and then the last item are just the upcoming events, along with employee anniversaries, which I'd like to thank Danielle for the great artwork, which we will include from here on out when she posts it. We'll post it to your chief's report. And the last item is, and I can't ask for a motion on this because my agenda item specifically says information only, no action to be taken. But it's a recommendation. You typically take a holiday break from a meeting. But we think that the December meeting is important and you should continue with it and possibly consider taking the January 14th meeting as your recess. And you can just let us know how you feel about that. You can send me an email. And we'll determine whether or not, we'll talk to the chair and determine whether or not we're going to have a meeting in January. If you feel strongly that we should have one, we will. But typically you've taken a holiday recess. I think it's been December in years past. But just something to consider,
What is?
think about it,
what-
maybe talk to the chair.
What's important that's going on in December that you want us to pay attention to?
Well, we were just conversing staff about, we're kind of on, we have some good momentum rolling here. We can't really, I can't identify anything significant offhand, but it would be hard after, there's a city holiday closure that takes place between Christmas and New Year's. And we would have to get your packet out, like coming right back off of that break, which might be challenging because of all the other work priorities that will be piling up as well. So if we're going to take a break, that is suggested. If you want to take December off, we can certainly do that as well. Or if you don't want to take either off, that's fine too. It's completely
You
up
can
to.
take both off.
But why don't you do this, since we can't vote on it, why don't you just send your comments to the chair? The chair can make a decision and direct staff as needed.
And the chair for the January meeting is already here,
Okay,
but the chair.
but
for
we want
December
to continue with,
After.
we have a current chair. And so you'll submit your recommendations to him.
You change the chair, it has to be you.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
A lot of stuff.
Is this the fire chief not coming to the meetings?
He's actually, he has another meeting, a 2-day meeting. He's out right now.
It was on a 2-day meeting in the last meeting. Not a 2-day meeting.
Sipjack, if we need it.
Project,
Tell her.
big conference.
Any comment on that or public comment on that report?
Nope. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
If that's it, that concludes our meeting at 4:55.
Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
so moved.
All
All in favor?
in favor, I think we're gonna do it.
I think they